Yo, 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 what's going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown, episode 227. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and I'm joined by Emilio Lopez.
Sup, people? How's it going?
Chris Seeley.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Brett Murdoch.
What's up, people?
Adam Vale.
Shalom.
And I guess, special guest, surprise guest, Mr. Richard Bailey Jr.
What's up, everybody?
Happy
Welcome
birthday.
back.
Happy birthday, Richard.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, that's Adam. That's Adam's thing. Everybody's birthday. I'm 57 years old, man.
There you go.
It's
You only live twice, man.
It's either Happy Birthday or Merry Christmas. That's the two. Those are the two Adam greetings.
It could be July 13th.
And during Christmas, it's Happy Hanukkah.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. We don't know where Brian is. What's he up to now, Manny?
I would say he was saving Queen, but he already saved the Queen like a 1,000 times. So I would say this time he is resurrecting Margaret Thatcher. And then...
I was gonna say, like a cartoon, like Brian took a tugboat and he's pulling the UK farther away from Europe, so Brexit happens faster.
Yes.
I was going to say he's still at the protest, the Brexit protest in front of Parliament, laying down.
I'm going to say
screaming.
he's still admiring the Jeff Goldblum blow-up doll. Oh, man. And Carlos, he is not here. He won't be here for the next couple of weeks because he's in Korea again, people.
Korea!
Yeah. The good Korea, not the bad Korea.
Not the bad. No, they don't let anybody in that Korea.
Maybe Carlos or somebody. I don't know, man.
Actually, you know what? There's actually a really great YouTube about a guy who went there and took a tour, and he had to go through all this craziness just to get there. And it's like the tour of Korea is so like controlled. Like you can't leave, you can't go anywhere.
Korea.
You have
North Korea, right?
Yeah, North Korea. Like North Korea, you can't leave, you can't go anywhere extra, you can't talk to the people. All kinds of crazy shit like that.
Yeah, but he's in South Korea, so he doesn't have to deal with that. He's going to be enjoying a lot of Korean barbecue, and I will have to endure a couple of weeks of Adam asking me when Carlos is coming back. So I'm going to get ready, man. First I had to deal with Adam asking me when Carlos is leaving. Now he's going to ask me when is he coming back.
Carlos coming back.
I hope he posts the wedding pictures online. That's all. I mean, I want to see this shit.
Yo,
definitely want to see this shit.
You crazy. Anyway, Rich, man. Go ahead, Manny. Go ahead.
Oh, no. Keep going.
Yeah, so Rich, man, what's been going on with you lately, man? What's going on with you and the coalition and all that good stuff?
Well, to start off, speaking of weddings, I actually went to a wedding last weekend in New Orleans.
Congrats.
Oh.
Well.
Don't get it twisted now. I wasn't the one that got married.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. My very good friend from college got married, and I got to see how crazy people are in New Orleans when it's not Mardi Gras season. So
in other words, it's just as crazy, right?
Yeah. See, you guys. You need to understand something. Richard Billy doesn't drink. He doesn't indulge in that. So he got to experience all his crazy friends getting rowdy, right, Rich?
Oh yeah, I don't drink, so I had fun watching them get drunk and having all these issues. And of course, as I mentioned before, it's a wedding, so you already know what the bachelors do before the wedding takes place. The night before. Yep, they wanted to go to a strip club, so yes, that's what we did. It was very entertaining. very entertaining. Yes.
How were the girls, man?
They wasn't bad. It was, I would say that there were 3 ones in there that were pretty hot. All the other ones, not too great.
You see, now if you would have drank, you would have been with models, and you would have been like, "Whoa!"
A 10 would have been a 20.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
It's like, yo, I like the fact you have no teeth, Gumby.
Well, for those that got drunk, they definitely thought that because they had that was where everybody got drunk at. So I got to see how they interact once they have had too much to drink.
But here's the thing, like being, I'm not a drinker. I don't really drink as well. But the one thing about being with a bunch of friends that drinks, you end up being the guy that kind of takes care of everybody, which kind of sucks.
This is true. This is absolutely true. It wasn't too bad. We had access to Ubers, so you know, but yeah, it's a very entertaining weekend to say the least.
Yeah,
Well,
we're
now-
not going to talk about this on air, but Rich, you told us this one specific story about a friend of yours who may do a dumb decision. It's like, bro, no, man, no, son. You know what I'm talking about? It's like, no, don't do that. Keep him away from that.
Bringing it home with me. I love
Yeah.
her.
Oh my God.
I would just say this: what happens in the club needs to stay in the club. Let's not try to expand beyond that.
Oh man, God.
I don't see nothing wrong with a little bumping.
Oh man, all right. And yeah, go ahead, man.
Yeah, I got one more vampy thing. So yeah, I actually wanted to officially thank the company Insert Coin for this really awesome jacket that they sent me, which is a Metal Gear Solid 5 jacket with all kinds of stuff there. I just randomly got it one day, and it says with best regards, Insert Coin. So Insert Coin, if you haven't heard of those guys, they do like video game themed shirts and jackets and all kinds of cool stuff. So yeah, they just sent me this Metal Gear Solid 5 jacket, and there may or may not be something coming fun, that for the show. So I'll announce that when I've all done. Then done talking to them about it. But yeah, cool stuff.
Nice.
All right. And Rich, before we start the show, any updates with the coalition?
Well, we're pretty busy right now. I'm pretty sure everybody knows that April is a huge month for gaming, entertainment, everything. So we have quite a bit of things we're working on. I would definitely encourage people to stay tuned for that because it's so much things to mention. I don't want to waste any time on tonight's show. Yeah, just stay tuned to the website. We're working on a lot of different things, a couple of shows, some articles, etc.
Yeah, and for you guys who don't know, I obviously we post the show over the coalition, which means I have access to the back end. And I saw Richard writing about something big that's going to be coming up soon, and we're going to get his thoughts on it before he actually writes about it, which is pretty cool. So, Rich, the Mortal Kombat 11 beta started yesterday. I'm keeping it real right now, people. I got the beta too, and I will play it, and I will write about it, but I completely forgot I had it because of the motherfucking division. So
everything stops for the division, man.
So I'll be on it this weekend and shit, but Richard was telling me about it, and I was like, oh shit, that's right, I got this fucking game. So and our fans obviously are interested. By the way, shout out to Illustrated Dio. He wanted our thoughts on it, we were gonna disappoint him because none of us have played it, but Richard did. So what are your thoughts on the beta you played so far?
So first and foremost, let me give a disclaimer right now. People must know that I am a huge Mortal Kombat fan. So anything that I'm about to say, it may sound biased because I'm a fan of the series. I just want to get that out of the way before I get started. So the beta that pretty much, it is a closed beta for right now. I'm not sure if they're going to open it up in the next couple of weeks because, the game is out at the end of April. But pretty much the beta, it just gives you like a sample of what the full experience is going to be. Of course, you can fight online against other players, or if you don't do that, then you can just do like a tower, which is 5 fighters. There's only 5 characters in the beta. That's Jade, Cabal, Scarlet, Baraka, and of course, Ed Boon's favorite, Scorpion.
Get over here.
Yes, get over here. So pretty much what I've seen in the beta, what you actually can do, like I said, you can play online against other people. I actually played several matchups, and one thing I will say about NetherRealm is that a lot of times when the games are fantastic, but when you go online, it tends to have connectivity issues and bad net code. I have to say I haven't experienced any of those issues whatsoever. Now we'll see if the final product has that problem, but so far everything is pretty solid. It runs buttery smooth, and I am playing on the Xbox One X. Pretty sure it plays the same on PS4 though. But yeah, I did a couple of online matchups, and then I did the tower. And as far as the tower, yeah, like I said, you just do 5 quick matchups against 5 of the different fighters. One of the big things about the game that they really emphasized this year is the they have this whole thing about you customizing the character. And of course, they have the gears and the cosmetics. All of this stuff is stuff that you can earn while you're actually playing the game. But in the particular beta, I wasn't really able to earn really that much. I mean, you earn some currency, and then they already have stuff that's unlocked to give you an idea of how you can customize the character. So, like, you can have Scorpion have like a different outfit on, different colors, or you can change the look of how he looks. So some of that stuff is in there, but you earn that stuff by basically playing through the story and then doing all other types of activities. So when it comes to the fighting, if you played Mortal Kombat X, you have a very good idea of what to expect. I mean, it's just as great as it was before. The only thing that I have noticed is that the brutality has been turned up a lot more, because when I was playing in some of those matchups, like I would get to the very end where I'm about to do the fatality to, my opponent. But if you keep doing certain moves, like if you do uppercuts and stuff like that, then you'll just straight up do a brutality. And because I did a brutality with Scorpion and knocked someone's head off before I even had a chance to do the actual fatality. So,
oh shit!
Yeah, it's very brutal. It looks fantastic, And once again, Mortal Kombat X looked great. But this looks a lot better. Obviously, if you have a 4K TV, you're definitely going to notice a slight difference. But even if you don't, I mean, graphically, the game looks fantastic. The X-rays are back again. So, but yeah, I mean, that pretty much in a nutshell is all you get in the actual beta. What I did see, because they have pretty much everything set up, but there's a lot of areas that they say this isn't accessible in the beta. They do have, of course, the crypt where you'll be able to unlock and get all collectibles and stuff like that. They do have a practice tutorial and a fatality training section, but all of that stuff you can't even access in the actual beta. So they just basically lock that stuff off. You can see what's there, what's going to be in the final game. You just can't access everything. But again, April 23rd is not really that far away, so I guess that's fine for people. Yeah, my final takeaway as far as the beta is concerned, I have to say, and this may be a bit of a controversial statement, but remember when I started this and I said that Mortal Kombat is my favorite series, I will tell you right now, for me personally, this is probably going to be my game of the year so far.
Whoa.
Because yeah, the fighting game, and even after I've played through the tower, it's like I constantly want to go back and play more. It has that thing where if you're into it, you'll definitely want to keep coming back to it. So I can say for sure, I know there are other fighting games coming out this year, but this is by far, I think, the one that I'm the most interested in for right now. We'll see what happens with Streets of Rage 4 and Samurai Showdown, all this other stuff. But right now, Mortal Kombat at the top of my list. So,
that's dope, man. Do you know anything about the Switch version? I know it's on that. I'm like, I don't know how it's even running on that system. Do you know anything about that?
That is a very good question. I'm not sure about that myself. I mean, I know they said they were going to release it the same date as PS4 and Xbox, but I don't know about that. One thing I do know, the beta is not on a PC or Switch. And I know some people are pretty angry about that. So NetherRealm may have to do something, in terms of that. If people complain too much. But yeah, I haven't had a chance to try out the Switch. I only was able to play on Xbox. The other option would have been PS4. So we'll see what happens with the Switch version.
Yeah, and then out of all the characters available, because you said there's 5, which one was your favorite?
Well, I gotta say it's Scorpion.
Classic.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, Scorpion. Just a badass overall. There's other characters that I will say I was expecting other characters to be in there like Raiden and stuff like that, but yeah, it's only 5 in there right now. I'm not sure if they'll do like an update because the beta is going on until the 31st, so they can easily add something in there like to keep people playing, to give them a sample of other things if they want to. But yeah, Scorpion is definitely my pick so far of the characters that I have played with. So,
and
yeah.
is he your favorite Mortal Kombat character? Like, period.
Now that is a tough question to answer. I don't know if I would say my favorite. I actually saw last week they released a trailer of Noob Saibot, another character that I really do like. I mean, I like a lot of the characters. The thing is, it's probably hard for me to say right now who the favorite is going to be because I don't really know who all is going to be on this roster yet. But Scorpion is okay. Sub-Zero I like a little bit more. But yeah, it's hard for me to say who's the favorite right now. Because I definitely need to see who all else is going to be in the game.
All right, I hear that, man. So yeah, this sounds dope, man. So yeah, what would you say, April 22nd?
23rd.
23rd, yeah.
And just to give people a heads up, that is going to be by far the craziest week for gaming and entertainment because the 26th Days Gone is out and this 26 Avengers Endgame is out.
Oh shit!
All happen in the same week. So yes, everybody's going to be busy that week.
Yeah, and when does Game of Thrones start? Doesn't it start around that week? It's like, yo, this is crazy.
Oh yeah,
man.
yeah.
Game of Thrones.
I think that's the week.
Yeah,
I think that's the week before. Yeah,
man. Yeah, and then for the anime fans, Attack on Titan's back that month. It's gonna be wild, man.
Oh, damn.
It's gonna be wild. And I think One Punch Man is coming back. It's like, yo, come on, April, you're too much, too much right now. You know. All right, man. So, Rich, thank you for your thoughts, and I guess your preview will be up shortly, right? Within this weekend, or maybe a little afterwards.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to try to get it up as soon as possible. Hopefully by tomorrow. We'll see. Fingers crossed. But soon it'll be up.
Yeah. By the way, Richard has another name for Days Gone, but we're not going to say that live because we don't want people. We don't want people to kill him. You know, he's our guest. You know. All right, so we're gonna get into some topics here. A little bit of a slow week, you know, but some interesting stuff happened. So the first one is that Borderlands 3 was officially announced. I think they had a live stream, and apparently there was a fuck up, and they had to do magic tricks for 15 minutes because they couldn't get the game to play. But they eventually got the trailer up there or whatever. So yeah, Borderlands 3. I know some of us here play the game, and I know the fans, you know, are hyped for it. So. Rich, since you're the guest, why don't you give us your thoughts on Borderlands and Borderlands 3?
All right, so I must admit that I did not play the original Borderlands or Borderlands 2. I did play Tales from Borderlands, the Telltale game, and I think that was fantastic. So I am at the least intrigued by Borderlands. But I do have to make a controversial statement right now. You know, I saw that presentation earlier today, and yeah, that wasn't a good look to have those technical difficulties with the remastered version, which is also coming out on April 3rd, and also the video for Borderlands 3. But my thing is, Gearbox, there is another game that's also coming out this year called The Outer Worlds that I think everybody knows is looking forward to, and I think they're making a mistake by releasing this game the exact same year as that game because, you know, for those that don't know The Outer Worlds, that's the Obsidian game that they showed that it kind of looks like Borderlands, it kind of feels like Borderlands. So I'm gonna be very curious to see how they both perform. Obviously, a lot of people are Borderlands fans, but I'm curious to see if that's gonna hold up because I feel like that Borderlands game should have came out. That could have been last year or even the year before, but
it's weird because it's been a while. They've been talking about it. I mean, they've even done GDC presentations on the new engine that they did. You know, they created for it. So I'm wondering what the heck happened.
Well, that's a good question. I don't know. I know Gearbox has been having some other issues. You know, some other issues or controversial stuff happening. With people stealing money and all types of other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if any of that had an impact on this, but we'll see.
Yeah. Who's a Borderlands fan in this panel?
Me.
All right, Adam, what you think, man?
I didn't even bother watching it.
Damn, it's like that.
Man, you're such a big fan. You don't want to look at it.
But that's because it's not. I just have no faith in them. Gearbox, And even the last one, Tales of the Borderlands, which is awesome. That wasn't even them. That was Telltale's. You know, so it's been so long from Borderlands 2, and we've seen so many different remakes of that. And now there's a rumor that that one's also coming to Switch. You know, I had it for the Vita. Remember they packaged that with the Vita for a while?
Yeah.
That was a special one. I'm like, yo, you're wasting all this time. Where's 3? And they made it seem like, oh, don't worry, we're working on it. I don't think they had a clue what to do. You know, look how long it is. Look how many years. And now we hear about it. Come on now. How old is that tech? What is really planned? The game has changed big time with these open worlds and these new games.
I mean, wasn't the Borderlands 3 kind of announced like early when the next generation started?
No, they didn't.
I never even heard of it until now.
Yeah.
No, they were. It was like they didn't announce it, but there was like whispers of it, and they also had like demonstrations of the tech that they were using on it not long ago, maybe a few years ago. Yeah. So
I can't verify that.
What's the deal? What's the deal, Gearbox? What's going on?
So that's interesting. So Adam, even though you're a fan of the games,
you're
like whatever, right?
Yeah, no, I just it's been so long. Like right now, the Outer Worlds that interests me more than whatever Gearbox is working on. It just isn't. I'm telling you, I heard about it. They were like, oh, they're gonna announce it. They're gonna announce it. I don't give a shit. I don't.
Damn.
We'll see when it drops, but I'm not holding my breath on any of this shit because believe me, if they really had something up their sleeve, that shit would have came out years ago. Damn. I feel like they're like, oh well, fine, we'll do it. It's almost as if we saw a Half-Life 3. Let's say we saw a Half-Life 3. Do you think there's a lot of love in that? I don't think so.
There would. With Half-Life, that thing, people would explode.
That's people. Yeah. But for the developers, think about it. If you really love something, do you really wait 10, 20 years to release another one? No, you don't.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Chris, you know what I mean? Chris, go ahead. What were you going to say?
I was going to ask him if he thinks it's like another alien colonial marine situation.
Well, that they outsourced. Like most of these studios, they blame the outsourcing. Oh well, you know they did it. Yeah, but you saw it and you knew it was coming out. It's still your shit. Come on now. Right. You know, when Calvin Klein makes his new jeans and they come out of the Chinese factory, he still has his people check to make sure that the logos are where they're supposed to be. So I don't want to hear that bullshit. It's just excuses, and that's my fear. And especially with all the shit that's been going on, like, you know, Richard said, all the behind the scenes stuff, I feel like they're like, well, all right, let's put something together. Let's see what we got, and we'll just try to get this out there. Because for the longest time, they were working on that other game that bombed, the Battle Royale one. Not the Battle Royale one. What was it? The shooter. The loot shooter.
Battleborn? Was that Battleborn?
Yeah.
Battleborn was them.
That was them. That was their last game. They put a lot into that.
Yeah, they did.
You know, and nothing happened. And then, of course, you know, Colonial Marines, then nothing happened with that. And everyone kept saying, we won another Borderlands. We won no Borderlands. Had something planned, it would have been out already. They would have like, oh, shit, don't worry about it. We got this covered. You see with, Machine Games with Wolfenstein, they don't wait fucking 10 years. They know what people want.
Yeah, they're already dropping another one.
Yeah, they're already dropping another one. Damn. You know what I mean? You don't wait. If you have a hit like that, you don't let it dry up. They just didn't give a shit. They were like, oh, whatever. Just keep playing that. And we want to focus on other things. But other things failed. So they're like, well, I guess we have to go back to that well. Let's start digging this up. Let's see what we can put together. Everything feels half-assed. So unless it's freaking amazing, it's just blowing people's minds, and they're like, delete all your games, just get this one. I'm not messing with it.
Damn. By the way, shout out to Brian who's joining us right now. What's going on, Brian?
Nothing much.
Excited for Borderlands?
I heard about it, but no, nothing yet.
There you go. See,
I feel like that's a
Wednesday
little bit,
has spoken.
I feel like that I noticed a little bit of that on Twitter, where it's just like people are just kind of like I guess so. I'll play it.
That's interesting. Yeah, I guess, because we follow different people, I saw nothing but hype on my end. Like, oh my God, it's back! It's finally back!
You know what's funny? You know what's funny though? Like, okay, they're doing a remaster of the original Borderlands, right? Or is it 1 and 2?
It's 1.
It's 1. Why aren't they going to do 2?
They've done it to death. They did the remaster one of that.
Why didn't they just package both those 2 games together? Anyway, why? There's one question about this. The remaster of that previous Borderlands. They're releasing it so close to when the actual game is coming. It's a little bit weird.
Yeah, what I find interesting, and because they haven't detailed what this means, they said they're making quality of life changes. You know, what that entails, I have no idea. So it's
quality of life usually means trying to match things up to par with what's in the current flow.
Yeah,
it's sort of like when Halo changed to their control mechanism with pressing the left trigger to zoom in, not just for a scope. It's
gonna be stuff like that.
That's quality of life right there. It's like, hey, this is what your guys all used to doing. All right, we'll do it.
Yeah, I heard the mini map from 2 is gonna be in it now, something like that. You know. But, you know, as for me, I never played these games. I have absolutely no interest. So I just find it interesting, you know, seeing all the hype on Twitter and even among our fans. So I'm like, okay, we'll talk about it. But I personally don't care.
Yeah, I've never had that much. I mean, I have respect for that they chose a specific style for the game.
Yeah, if you see a screenshot, you know that's Borderlands.
You know it's Borderlands, and I'm glad that they actually decided to do something like that. You know, when they first making it. But other than that, I've never had that much interest in the Borderlands games.
Yeah, don't care. Don't care. But you know, there you guys go. Oh, actually, since Adam brought it up, and it is this week. The new Wolfenstein is coming. I forgot what it's called, Wolfenstein, whatever. Anyway, it takes place in the 80s, and I like that. I want to know if they're going to have.
You're actually going after. You're looking for.
Yeah, you're looking for BJ. Yeah, it's his 2 daughters you're playing at this time.
His kids.
Game is co-op, so that's kind of cool.
It's based on a true story, so it's going to be awesome. We're going to love it. That's going to be a fun game. Everybody loves those games.
Yeah. Youngblood. That's not to be confused with the Rob Liefeld comic. So yeah, you know, we'll see. I still need to play Wolfenstein 2. I have it. I just haven't played it. You know, and I think there's another one. There was a DLC for the first one. You know, was it New Colossus or something? I don't know.
Yeah, New Colossus.
Wolfenstein is cool. You know, there you go. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, we got to talk about PlayStation State of Play, man. This was interesting to say the least, man. So basically, and let's just get out of the way. State of Play is exactly what I told you guys it was going to be. It's PlayStation's answer to the Nintendo Direct, and just like a Nintendo Direct, it was boring.
It was just, I mean, it was. Go ahead.
Go ahead, man.
No, I was gonna say, like, Brian nailed it when he said, "Nintendo, let me see your homework." It was literally that, but without any of the personage in there. It was literally just a lady's voice and then slides.
It was essentially Core.
It was Core. It was Core and Pulse. See if you remember those.
Core and Pulse were almost exactly the same. Were like the same thing, where it was like a voiceover, and then they show you a bunch of trailers.
Yeah, it's like, nice work, Sony. You caught up with something you were already doing. Like, because Sony was when I first started doing that, and then they stopped. Then Nintendo jumped on board. Then Microsoft jumped on board, and now Sony's trying to catch up.
That's how PlayStation Access, their British section of of YouTube, was like that too. It's like they just show off the new trailers, and then they talk about a couple of games and stuff like that. So it's like, it's kind of like, hey.
Here's the interesting. One of the big complaints that I heard from a lot of people was that that half the show was focused on VR, right? I felt the same way, but then that same day they released PSVR sales numbers. Last time we checked here on the show was 2 million. It is now 4 million, 4.2 million. So this shit is buying. So they, and just keep it real. So Sony supporting VR more than fucking Vita. So there you go. If you're a VR fan, I know you were definitely happy with that shit. And speaking about that, Brett, what do you think of the State of Play and specifically all the VR support they're showing for? Like, half the show was literally VR games.
I told you so.
This motherfucker, I usually can't say that.
Oh damn.
They're leading up. They're hyping it up for next generation, man. Like, they're gonna do a VR upgrade next generation. I think it's going to make it more palatable for mass consumers. They know this. They know what they're doing. Believe it or not.
Brett, did you see the wireless headset?
What's that?
Is it
we talked about that.
We talked about
that Oculus.
But no. There's another one.
Oh, another one. Okay, yeah, we talked about that.
I didn't see that.
Yeah,
Sony needs to do that.
Dude, they're going to. They're going to. The PlayStation 4 can't handle the PlayStation 4 threatens to explode every time you do VR.
And Brett, out of all these games they announced, which one was your highlight? The VR game specifically.
I know which one it was.
I think I know too.
Which one? I'm gonna let you guess.
I'm gonna say Iron Man.
I was gonna say No Man's Sky VR.
Seriously?
Yeah. Isn't that what you wanted? Like, you know, like it to be more immersive?
Way too late, though. Way too late. I thought the Iron Man thing actually looked kind of cool.
Yeah.
See? What was Brett talking about before?
Yeah.
Being a space wizard?
Yeah, it is true.
Being a space wizard and flying around like Iron Man. I know this.
Like, I know this man.
Close enough. It's Anthem without the space. It's
Anthem without the space. You know, fun little fact on that game. That game is developed by Camouflage, Productions, which is the same company that is run by Ryan Payton, who formerly worked on Metal Gear Solid. Yeah, as well as he was the director of Halo. So that's kind of a cool thing. They go from making like a little game like Republic to this sort of cool looking Iron Man game.
Yeah. By the way, over on PlayStation Blog, they actually have all the games they talked about listed. We're gonna go through one of them. But Brian, here's another one for you. You know what this presentation felt like to me? Like the filler that you see from a PlayStation event. That's what it felt like to me.
Yeah, like that thing where you before it starts.
Yeah. No, not before it starts. Like shit they throw in the middle of it. Like where you go to the bathroom and stuff. That's what it felt like.
Shit.
All right, so let's run down. So they had Marvel VR. Okay, they got Marvel. The Marvel Iron Man VR. All right. Mortal Kombat 11. They showed a little bit of that. Concrete Genie.
Which they're still talking about that game.
Concrete Genie. You know what that reminds me of? Sideway New York. People don't remember that from PS3. Like you graffiti and then you go into the walls and stuff. A little different, but it reminded me of that.
Concrete Genie. I mean, you played? Didn't you play a little bit of that at the PlayStation experience like a few years ago?
No.
It's the same. It's the kid that makes drawings come out of the walls, right?
Yeah, I didn't play that.
Well, anyway, that thing was at that like maybe 2 or 3 years ago. That thing was at one of those PlayStation things.
Okay.
So, it's been in development for a while.
Yeah, so that's coming. Five Nights at Freddy VR. For you guys who like those games.
Their first official game. Officially.
Official console, yeah.
Yeah.
Official console game.
That is true, yeah. Full PSVR support for No Man's Sky. So that's an entire game. It's not a demo. So that's something, I guess. But
Sean Murray came out of silence. He's actually tweeting and talking again.
Uh-oh.
I know.
What is it? The next wave of PSVR games coming spring, summer 2019. So yeah, they're definitely supporting it. Crash Team Racing, whatever. I don't care about that.
Yeah, is that the? Yeah, that's a good one. That's the one that's like Mario Kart. It's the Crash one. Crash Bandicoot one. Those are always
fun
good
in VR.
Yeah.
I don't know if that one's in VR though.
Yeah, I don't think that one.
I don't think that one's in VR.
Fuck that then.
Yeah.
I think in the trailer though they were showing off the fact that they had like classic, Crash Bandicoot models in the game as well.
I know. Yeah, that game. Okay.
Yeah. What else here? They had a new Days Gone trailer. You guys already know how I feel about that, man. I'm gonna say that shit is Days Yawn, man. Whatever.
I know several for that game.
Don't care. Ready Set Heroes. It says a fast-paced twist on dungeon crawling. All right. PSVR thriller Observation. I don't know what the fuck that is. Oh, Observation. Observation reminds me of Adrift. You're like stuck in a derelict space station and stuff. You're floating around.
But the thing is that you're not controlling the character, I think.
Okay, but it reminds me of Adrift.
Like that.
Probably, yeah.
It also looks like the Ready at Dawn VR game they did. Last not long ago too.
Yeah, and then another VR game, Blood and Truth, whatever. Like again, I didn't have my hopes up, but it was just filler, man. But then again, Nintendo Directs are bullshit too, so this fell right in line with that, But people who are into VR were happy, so they got something out of it, Hold on, Glorious War is talking about he's hyped for Blood and Truth. All right.
I mean, we got stuff. It's nice. But it's not any giant triple. Like I'm telling you, it's gonna be next generation before we see like full AAA awesome. Because there's not that much. You can't make a truly polished game with the technical limitations that they're running with. Yeah, I mean, I love the PSVR headset, but it's not. It needs to be what Oculus is now, and it needs to be pushed to a market of 70+ million or whatever PlayStation manages to grab next time.
Yeah. All right.
You're not gonna think about it. You're only going to get indie games right now. for the most part. Show me a big development game.
Yeah, I think the biggest one we got is Resident Evil 7, isn't it?
Yeah, that as far as I know, and I still know some people unwilling to play that game.
Yeah, well, don't play that shit. You're gonna die, literally die.
I'll play. If I had VR, I'd play it again.
Oh shit, you're a bigger man than me. I'm not doing it. I'm a punk.
I'll crawl back in there. Do my third tour of duty and then.
Yeah, and you already got the Platinum 2 twice, man. You crazy.
Twice, yeah. Platinum twice.
Yeah. All right. Any last thoughts on State of Play, Richard? What do you think of State of Play, man?
Well, I definitely think that I know we had a conversation with our boy Reggie. I know some people will say, "Oh, well, the first show they didn't really show much," and I do agree with that. You know, hopefully when they continue to do more of these shows, they'll show more. The one thing I didn't like is that they showed Mortal Kombat. You know, I mean, I know that game is coming out, but that is a game that is also coming out on Xbox, Switch, and PC. So I would prefer that they actually show just the stuff that's coming to PlayStation 4. But yeah, and then also I saw that, I believe it was earlier today, they announced that Dreams is getting a beta, a paid beta. I was wondering why
that wasn't in there, right?
Yeah, they didn't show that. Yeah, the main thing that's lost at the State of Play is like you're supposed to focus on your exclusives. This is a Sony show, not like this is a game show. Like, you know, it's like you can talk about Mortal Kombat, sure, but you focus on your first party.
Was this even supposed to be a big thing? Like, I hate to sound dismissive, but I felt like this is just one of those weird filler conferences.
Oh, it is. It's a PlayStation Direct. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, and so we got what you would expect from that. Like, I don't know.
But
it was unimpressive, and it was expected to be unimpressive, right?
Yes, pretty much. By the way, quickly, Brett, Glorious Word wants you to know that Blood and Truth is a AAA VR game.
Yeah,
which one was Blood and Truth?
Blood and Truth, I call it Floating Hands, the game.
That game. Okay. Yeah. Where it's like you're like James Bond. It's like
something like that. Yeah.
So
okay.
I just want to make a quick comment on that game because I know we saw that game at PSX. If you remember, Tony.
I probably don't. That's how little I care.
For Bison, it was Tuesday.
Yeah. That's how little I care.
Cold.
I don't give a fuck. You know how it is. If I don't care about something, in one ear, out the other. I ain't got my brain has a limited amount of storage capacity. So I ain't got time for that. Anyway, Rich, go on.
Oh no, that game definitely got a lot of positive feedback, attention at PSX. So I was legitimately surprised it had a release date because Sony, they don't be telling you to reach the release dates too often anymore. So I'm glad to know it's coming. For those that are interested in VR, but I have to give Sony some kind of credit that they actually, I guess, finally had something to say, because ever since this year started, I feel like Sony has been very quiet in terms of what's coming. Oh, yeah, we knew about Days Gone, but what's going on with Death Stranding? What's going on with all these other titles? We haven't heard nothing. And then on the other side of things, Xbox been having their shows and Nintendo's been having direct. So it feels to me like Xbox and Nintendo, they've had a lot more to say so far this year in terms of trying to keep you up to date with the games that are coming, whereas Sony hasn't really done anything. So I at least applaud them for having this show to let you know, oh yeah, we do still have some stuff to talk about. But yeah, hopefully it gets better in future shows.
Yeah. Glorious Word says Blood and Truth is the best looking VR game.
I haven't made up my mind on that.
Yeah. We'll see about that. All right, man. Let's move on here to some let's just I'm not even gonna start around bad news. EA has laid off 350 employees this past week, which is not good.
I thought they were doing so well.
Apparently not.
But they want to make more money.
Mm-hmm. Those record profits, they just go to the top, and then they're like, all right, let's cut EA Tokyo, let's cut EA Russia. So they closed their foreign studios. I think that's where a lot of the layoffs came from. Mm-hmm. But it don't explain what they were doing. Andrew House released this flowery, like bullshit, marketing speak for why the layoffs happening. Restructuring, rebranding, and all that bullshit.
It's restructuring. How about we fire your ass and see that's real restructuring.
And you could save like 3,000 jobs if you fired him.
Yeah. The funny thing about restructuring when corporations use the word restructuring doesn't actually mean anything at the top. It just means they're closing out the bottom.
Yeah, that's what
they're trying to trim the fat as they see it.
Exactly, but even though they don't realize they are the fat, they're the people that make the bad decisions over a bunch of stuff. So it's like really what needs to happen if you really want to restructure. That means getting a whole new band of characters up at the top.
Yeah,
but they don't want to do that
because it's not the fault of the developers why a company's going wrong. They're just doing what were told to do, make a game.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yeah. So yeah, again, shitty, but kind of But yeah, you're right. It's always the people at the bottom who suffer. It's never the guys at the top who fuck up. They never do. They fail their way upwards. Actually,
exactly.
We've seen many times.
They tell the game companies to make all these sorts of things. Hey, you need to make a looter shooter. Hey, you need to do this. Hey, you need to make a battle royale. Right.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden, then they're like, now we'll get rid of you.
I have some advice for EA. Don't tell your customers not to buy your game. How about that? That could work.
Goes a long way.
Man, it's ridiculous. Anyway, yeah, go ahead. Any last thoughts on this?
There's a question I did want to ask. So, how long until BioWare needs to start worrying?
I would worry now.
Oh, yeah, worry now. Like, they needed to worry week 1 of Anthem sales.
Like, yeah, to be fair, Anthem did come in #1 in NPDs, but that's only a month,
But here's the thing. Anthem, while I think it's a fun game, it isn't remarkable or memorable in any way. It's not adding to their catalog or their legacy. It's not going to be their big hit. It's fun. It's cool. It's a better version of Destiny. So there's that niche, and it has a lot of replayability, but I don't think 10 years from now people are going to be like, oh, man, remember Anthem? Except for flight controls. It will be one of those, like, pointed to, like, Spider-Man, like, yeah, remember you can fly around in Anthem? Wasn't that fucking sweet? We should do that more.
The problem with these live services games is they'll have no legacy. Once they turn off those servers, you'll never be able to play that shit again.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, BioWare hopefully isn't going to just focus on games as a service because they're one of the companies that has a big legacy and rides their name hard. And if EA just kind of keeps forcing them to leave their wheelhouse, they're going to lose that and just become a studio. And that's really bad because you bought them for being BioWare. They're just going to water them down until they're not BioWare anymore. I've seen it a million times, and I'm desperately afraid that we may have already passed that point of no return.
I mean, we still have Dragon Age coming, but we'll see about that.
I think Anthem did just well enough to make people say exactly what you just said.
Yeah, even with Dragon Age, and you know me, I love me some motherfucking Dragon Age. Even with that, I don't know, man. I don't know about BioWare these days, man. I'm just being real. After two shitty, I'm sorry, I'm calling them that. After 2 shitty games, Andromeda and Anthem, it's like, come on, man, you need to prove yourself.
It's tough to. I mean, Anthem like I said, there's good game parts in there, so it's one of those like, man, it's not a failure, it's not a critical success. It's tough for me to tell how well BioWare is doing because this isn't really their thing. Go back, do Dragon Age, put them back in their vibe, in their space, let them do their BioWare thing with full resources behind them. And if they don't deliver, fuck you.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I don't trust BioWare anymore. I'm sorry. Even the guys that used to run BioWare, they're not there anymore. All those guys are gone, Even the main story writers, a lot of them are gone, I don't know, man. Whatever. This is why EA's losing money. I'm being real. And then fucking the Star Wars shit, fucking Battlefield. It's like, man, what do you expect?
How many different ways can you fuck?
Dude, think about it. That's 3 in a row, right?
Yeah.
Star Wars Battlefront 2, Battlefield 5, and now Anthem. 3 in a row.
He got too greedy with one. Told people not to buy the other one.
Yeah, you know. Oh man, it's bullshit. All right, let's move on here. Okay, so this is someone kind of similar to the Stadia news. So, Apple announced the Apple Arcade, which is their answer to this. So they're going to have a subscription service for mobile, desktop, and the living rooms. And the interesting thing about it is it's gonna have like original games, not gonna be like licensed games or whatever. It's gonna be like original Apple games that you can only play on this service. So that goes back to people were saying about Stadia. It's like, yo, what new shit can I play on it? So this will have new shit on it.
That was my issue with that presentation. It's like, okay, yeah, you got Ubisoft, but Ubisoft's everywhere. What do you got? What are you doing?
Yeah, well, apparently this is apparently mostly, if not all, exclusive games. And one of them is actually Sonic Racing, believe it or not.
Oh,
which is interesting.
So Sonic Racing is not on anything?
It may not be on anything. That's why I don't want to say 100%, but most of them are, So, yeah, Rich, I want to get your thoughts on this. And, you guys covered this on Co-op, obviously, the whole thing with Stadia and streaming games. So I want to get your thoughts on all of this.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think you just said it. The one thing that we have said on the Co-op multiple times, I know I've said it, is that, it's okay if you're going to launch another service or a console. In this case, obviously, with Stadia, it's not a console, but you need to have some type of killer software lineup to really get people interested. So I think it's good that Apple is doing this. With that said, the Apple presentation as a whole, not really too impressive. And when you have to have a credit card as an item that you are featuring at your presentation, I think, they're
it was their own credit card. They're undermining the whole aspect of connecting with other banks. Remember when they were like, "Come on, link your bank up with our app and the phone, everything will be work Apple Pay." And now it's like, "Oh, we have our own credit card." It's like, "Yo, what the? Why'd we even partner with you if you're gonna cut us like this? Let us have something." No, we don't want you to.
No, yeah, you're absolutely right. So, I mean, I don't know about that. But as for the arcade thing, I'm intrigued to see what they bring to the table. At least there is one development studio that I know. I'm definitely curious to see what they're working on, and that's Night School Studio. These are the guys that made Oxenfree. That game it's a great indie title, so I'm curious to see what they're going to make for this Apple Arcade. But I have to give Apple props at least that. Yes, you have announced that you're going to be making stuff exclusively on this platform, and hopefully Google will take suit and they will be working on some stuff. But if I had to make a choice, I definitely would say this is more attractive now than Google Stadia.
Interesting. And this one is actually going to be available in more countries too, 150 of them, which is pretty substantial. But yeah, you already know my stance though. It's like it's mobile games, man. I can't be fucking with that.
It's too late, man. That's the problem. It's too late. They want to add this service. Oh yeah, people assume it's $9.99 because that's what they were charging for the magazine service, which I think also is too late.
Mm-hmm. Magazine service.
The fact that all these other companies are linking up, people are like, oh, they all have their own service. Yeah, but they're not making money from those services. So they're hoping that, hey, maybe we can get some pennies if we partner up with Apple and we do their $9.99 deal. But especially with the mobile games, come on now. It's just not there. When so many of the big games that people play are free to play, it's not going to be there. This is just an effort to try to save, because I know a lot of these studios, because what are they said like 3,000 games a month. They threw some big numbers out there on launch on them. It's like, and how many of them actually stand out? Not many.
Their store doesn't do a really good job of promoting anything either.
Exactly, it doesn't. So maybe this will showcase some of those, but come on now.
Wow, 300,000 free. Yeah, wow, and free and paid games. Yeah,
it's crazy.
Manny, this says that all the games shown were exclusive, so I guess the Sonic game is exclusive.
Oh yeah, all right.
Hey, remember that rumor we heard, like that Sega was going to have something with Google? I guess it was with Apple.
Someone was mistaken.
Yeah, right. Why did you sound like JJ right now? Hey guys,
mistaken.
Yeah, you know me. I mean, I wouldn't touch this anyway because I don't fuck with Apple like that. you know. But mobile games, eh. But again, like I told you,
is this a sort of streaming service again?
Yeah,
like
it's a subscription service. Yeah, subscription streaming service. Yep.
And they actually gave that. If I didn't see this thing, they actually gave information about more information as opposed to saying that they're the most advanced system out there and not giving any sort of price points.
No, I mean the only thing that they really talked about is the fact that this gaming service works across all Apple devices. So your Apple TV will be able to do it, your Apple phone, your iPad, a Mac. You know,
all Apple devices, even the ones from like 20 years ago.
No, not those, obviously.
All current stuff, all their current stuff.
Like you
in fact, they announced the new iPad today.
I was about to pull up my iPod Touch, man, from my original iPod Touch. Be like, yeah, man, play some games on that.
You got an iPhone though, man. You could use that shit.
No, they probably take your money and be like, yo, $9.99, play some old ass games. You down?
Yeah,
that's it. They don't give a shit.
Oh man,
we call it retro now. You want some retro phone games?
Oh shit. Yeah. All right. So there you go. Like I said, this shit is coming, people. All right. Any last thoughts on Apple Arcade?
I don't think anybody has a doubt that this stuff is coming. I think that. I just think that where everybody's jumping into this sort of like streaming gaming shit, and nobody's ever talking about the elephant in the room and about about latency and all that other stuff. I definitely think that's like they're obviously trying to, Google and Apple are trying to catch not the hardcore gamer, but they're really trying to capture the.
But those games are downloads. Yeah, that's not streaming. The Apple stuff is downloads.
The Apple stuff is all download.
Yeah, because they're all phone games. They're just for the phone.
Well, the ones that as they currently are, I think this is a streaming thing. I could be wrong.
They said it was just their gaming arcade service and that you can download all these games for
that's good.
a month.
Okay, so it's a subscription service, but it actually downloads
them offline.
Okay, so that's actually better than Stadia then.
Yeah, then that's better than Stadia.
That's better than Stadia then.
Yeah, Stadia's going to be doing high end shit. They're going to be doing what we play on consoles.
Yeah, that is also true. Although the graphics they're showing off here are pretty nice for mobile games. I was surprised actually.
Well, I mean, dude, you realize that mobile phones are more powerful than the fucking Nintendo Switch, right?
What?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Nintendo
current mobile phones, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn, Nintendo, what the fuck?
You didn't know that?
No. See, I'm thinking like, them old-ass games.
Technically, that thing is a piece of shit.
The Switch is a piece of shit. We're not that.
It's using old ass technology like they always used to do. The only difference,
they're using the oldest Tegra.
Nintendo, you fucked up.
Yeah. Well, obviously they didn't fucked up because they stopped selling consoles right now.
Yeah, that is also true.
Shit.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, you talking shit. By the way, was that a rumor running this week that they're gonna have 2 new Nintendo Switch consoles this year?
Yeah. That's another one. Now, here's the thing I don't get with that, because I heard a lot of people like, but it was like, last month that Nintendo came out and said, no, we're already debunking this. We're not working on anything new. But they keep saying, oh, they're doing something new. And the only thing I could think of is that maybe they're just changing out the board, because we know that this current board is hackable. And they openly said that they were going to change the board. So technically, that is a new board and a new model, but I don't think it's going to be a new SKU.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's going to be a new model, but maybe not. But even though I still believe they will put
eventually,
like they do with the 3DS and all the other systems.
It just doesn't make sense right now, because all these outlets are like, oh well, they want to keep up with the sales, and so I'm like, they're still winning NPDs.
That is true.
Every month, why shoot yourself in the foot? And people are like, oh, but look, Sony did it with the Pro. They came out with the Pro, and I was like, yeah, but the pricing. Think about that. They would have to drop the price. This $299 price. They can't go up higher. They can't say, "Oh, here's a Pro Switch. What are you going to charge? $500 for that?"
Yeah, that's a good point.
$400 for that. And then people are going to be pissed off because, like I said, it's selling like hotcakes. There's people that bought it yesterday, tomorrow, next week, and they're going to find out, oh shit, a new one just came out. Come on now.
No, I definitely think it's just going to be something like that, where it's just going to be a Switch that has an incremental like chip setup of update, but nothing really fancy. Just like their original thing, just like their DS, whatever versions of DS they had. The only time they actually did do something, drastic was like the DS Plus or something like that. It was like they went with a better thing.
They did the new 3DS XL when they added the nub.
Yeah, they added that, and then they added, and it also had some
Super NES games.
Yeah, and it also had a little bit better tech inside of it, right?
Yeah, yeah. That's what I'm saying. It was just a little bit more of this, but then that was still, that was later on. That was when, it was like, well, we're trying to boost this, try to make some sales, and then that mini Switch one, I think that might be, if it is real, that might be the new name for a 3DS. Maybe they'll just say, hey,
the mini Switch.
Brother. Yeah, you got Switch and Switch Mini to replace the 3DS. And play the eShop games and your 3DS games. It'll have
what if it was just like, even though the Switch is already, portable, what if this one was even a lighter one that was even more portable?
Well, they're talking about the Mini just having the Joy-Cons fused on there. They don't come off.
But it would be so big.
Well, it would also, you couldn't play certain games too. Like,
no, you can't do any of that shaky stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Super Mario Party is supposed to link the screens together. You can't do that if you can't take the Joy-Cons off. So it would be interesting if they make that decision now. They did that with the 2DS, and there were certain games that needed the clamshell to fold. They were counting on that, and certain games didn't work. But there are main first-party games that need the functionality. So I don't think Nintendo would shoot themselves in the foot. Third-party games they don't care about. They use the clamshell. They don't give a shit. They put out the system anyway. This case, they have a lot of things invested in the Joy-Cons. So if they're fused on the system, what do? You couldn't play those certain games.
Yeah, I just think it's the same thing. I just think it's too soon. It's too soon.
Yeah. I think a hardware revision and maybe a new LCD or whatever screen, probably that's about it.
Yeah. And even that, I think if they did another screen, it's not going to be so much of another screen. Maybe they'll just make one that minimizes the bezel, which is massive on this shit. Give a little bit more. I don't think it's going to be a huge change of like, wow, look at this. Now you got like this 8-inch screen.
Or they could keep the screen the same size and just shrink the bezel.
Yeah, that's the thing. Let's change the bezel. Let's change it out.
Yeah. By the way, I'm sorry I got distracted. Forbes just put out an article saying that Sekiro needs to respect its players and add an easy mode.
Really?
Uh-oh.
Who is Forbes? Forbes is nobody.
Oh no! Well, Forbes is actually they do have Forbes Gaming. For a while, I used to give Forbes a lot of props because they actually used to write really good stuff. But now they're falling into nonsense like everybody else, writing shit like that.
They
need to have an easy mode. They
picked up some big name game journalists a while ago when they decided to create that whole gaming department.
Yeah, no, for when they first started, they were writing some really good articles. I was like, why aren't the rest of you guys doing shit like that? But now they're writing a bunch of nonsense. Yeah, it has to respect the players.
No,
what about you respect them by giving them the game they want? People want shit like that,
Have they ever heard of an audience?
No.
There are different audiences. People gamer doesn't exactly exist in just one type of gamer. There are different sects of gamer, and obviously this game is and targeted toward a specific type of gamer. That's it. If you can't enjoy that, unfortunately, well, you're gonna either play it until you bash your head against the wall and keep trying to play it, or don't play at all. That's just the way it works.
Yeah, these people are ridiculous.
It's like saying a sports game should be made for non-sports players. That's stupid.
Yeah, exactly.
Sports games are made for people who like sports. That's the audience. Wrestling games are made for people who like wrestling. That's the audience. But unfortunately, the wrestling games don't seem to be doing so well with that.
Well, there's only one really, so
they have a monopoly.
That's sad.
Somebody needs to make another game. But it's silly that they make such a comment like that. It's like saying, again, it's like saying a horror movie should be made for everybody. I mean, to be honest, horror movies are made for people who like horror movies.
How are the sales for?
I'm just reading this stupidity. No, it's only been a week, right? That's been out.
Yeah, and I hear it's doing pretty good. I mean, one thing about it, like the one thing it's interesting about the whole thing is that we even talked about this last week. It's just that the game doesn't actually have an online mode. It's all single player, pure.
Oh, let me just at least read the intro. It's frustrating. Okay, it's time once again to revisit an old saw. It was true of Dark Souls 3, it was true of Bloodborne, and it's true of other From Software games, and will keep being true until the acceptable conclusion. One of these games finally puts in an easy mode. That hasn't happened yet, and so here we are. Sekiro Shadows Die Twice needs an easy mode. Hello, old saw. I'll be honest, it's not that nice to see you again.
Okay. I'm gonna say.
Wow.
You know what that article sounds like, and it's sad to say that sounds like a bait article.
It could be.
It's a total bait article to get people to click on the damn thing. Forbes has ads on their sites, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay. So then it's a total trigger article to get people who are probably fans of these sorts of games to lose their minds and click on it.
I can see that. May I offer a rebuttal?
As a Souls fan.
Get good? Is that your rebuttal?
Get good.
Won't accept
Get good. Yeah. Don't take his shine. Go ahead, Brett.
Yeah. Get good. You can do it.
Even I've been working on it. Like, I fucking platinum Demon Souls, the first Dark Souls, Bloodborne, and this game is hard. You know, it really requires a lot of parrying and a lot of good timing. And me, I'm like frustrated, but I'm still playing it. You know, it's just like, hey, shit, I got to change the way I think about this. I have to take the Dark Souls book and you throw it right out the window with Sekiro. And you got to just
they do that shit on purpose. They swap the buttons on Bloodborne. Like, that's the whole point. Like, I'm gonna get back on my little soapbox here for a second and say, like, the whole point of get good isn't saying like you suck, loser. It's get good. You don't start good. You have to get there. It's a work and it's reward. And to say that I should just be given the reward for this product because I bought it, like, I kind of get that mentality, but you bought a challenge. Like, if they didn't give you a challenge, then they wouldn't be giving you the product. So I could go around in your logic loop all day long, but it ends with, if people like it, who the fuck are you to judge?
Here's the thing. I would like to hear, I mean, you know, being that obviously we don't getting so much this sort of they need to put an easy mode in sort of this game. We're hearing it from a lot of journalists, but how many actual gamers are saying this sort of stuff? I'd like to hear that.
One guy did. I saw this one guy on Twitter. He's been hyped for this game for a year, ever since it was announced, right? Okay. And he's like, and he bought the game. It was a great thread. It was fucking hilarious. He's like, I got the game of the year. Let's fucking go. And then he's like, hey, where's the easy mode? And people started blasting him and shit. Oh man. So I mean, I guess that guy wants an easy mode.
I guess he wants an easy mode, but at the same time, it's like, obviously he was a person who seemed to like the idea of it, but at the same time, it's like, when you're going to get a From Software game, you're going to get fucking brutalized by the damn game.
Well, what if you don't? What if you don't know that? What if this is your first From Software game? Some people don't. Some people don't.
Use it. They literally use this. The Souls-like has become part of the zeitgeist fucking like narrative now. Anybody uses that to explain a game that's hard. So it's like, wait, what planet have you been hiding on?
There's a lot of dense people out there, man. I'm just telling you. You know, they walk into GameStop. They don't, pay attention to anything. Like, hey, samurais, cool. I'll check that out. Then they get fucked up. Oh well, yeah, stupid articles.
I just say this. It's like those games are built for specific audiences.
Yeah,
they're all built for specific audiences. Yeah. The reason why, I want to say, like, I guess one of the reasons why the sort of adventure game is kind of the action adventure game has kind of become the sort of everything game for everybody sort of game, because it kind of hits so many bases. You know, it's a stealth game, it's a platformer, it's a shooter, it's a, you know, upgrade your weaponry shit. It's all of those things. But there are still things that are kind of meant for specific audiences and specific sorts of people, and that's okay. If you're directing it at somebody, you know, a specific audience, why complain about that?
No, yeah, you're right. Oh well. All right. Speaking about rumors. Go ahead. Man, damn it, man! You were done for like 5 fucking seconds, man.
Sorry.
I hate when you do that shit.
I mean, VR is a good example of that, right? You know, there are quite a bit of people that are a little bit annoyed about a lot of some of the VR games not coming out on the regular, just non-VR versions. But those are also targeting specific people who are into VR games and have the VR headset. Anyway,
man,
go.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Who in here has played Sekiro?
I haven't.
I've played it.
You played it?
Oh yeah.
What did you think, Richard, compared to like Bloodborne or Dark Souls?
Well, to be honest, I have not played Dark Souls. I attempted to play Bloodborne, and I have not yet gone back to Bloodborne, although I want to. Yeah, the game is challenging, but I was expecting the challenge, and I wanted to make this the first game where I play and actually see how it actually is. So far, I mean, I don't have a problem with learning how to play because, again, you know, by playing these types of games, it makes you a better player to adjust to this type of, you know, these types of games. But I don't have any problems with the game. But I'd have to say I agree with Manny saying that this is a clickbait article because as I'm looking at Forbes right now, this article has 64,093 views.
Wow.
So they definitely got attention with this article, with the title.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you, it's not like Dark Souls. It's a much faster paced game. You really have to think about each fight you go into. And Souls, we always said, like, you have to think about each fight. I have to see how I'm going to approach this and whatever. But the thing with that Brett and I love is that Brett can be a boxer, pyromancer, or whatever, and I can be a huge tank with a big hammer and a shield. Sekiro, you're just this dude with a bun and a fucking sword. That's it. And he's got a robot arm, and you figure that shit out with each fight. That's it. That's all he's got. And maybe you can upgrade him a little bit. You can increase his health, increase his posture. And that's it. You just fucking go. So you got to work in that tiny little box. This is some way smaller box than Souls. So you got to work with it. You know.
It's I mean, if you think about it, it's kind of like the old school like Mario idea, where essentially you have a specific set of moves, you have a specific set of being, and you have to, you know, essentially use the things that you know to kind of traverse even further. You know, use the tools.
Yeah,
that
pretty
you
much.
have.
I think so. I mean, I haven't played it honestly because usually with Souls games, there's a big kind of like party that goes along with it because it's online. This one is single player. I'm not so super thrilled about that, and I'm not as excited as about not being able to customize my character. I'm still really excited for the game, but because it's a single player game, it's been relegated to the when I have time bin, whereas like Division is very time sensitive. You don't want to fall too far behind the curve or you can't play anymore with your friends.
Yeah, respect to Carlos who's missing all this right now because he's in Korea. You know, Adam and Chris are about to, become men this weekend.
That's right. Yeah, that's also why I haven't played a lot of Sekiro because we've been playing Division. And Division absorbing my face right now.
Yes, man. I was playing that shit today. I'm already maxed out, but I'm still like, maybe I could squeeze a little bit more juice out of this.
Yeah. I admit it. I'm playing right now.
Yes. Adam's playing that shit right now, too.
I want to know when.
I bet they're both playing.
They probably are.
Oh, let me see. Well, maybe we can make that happen. Let's see.
Yeah.
You reminded me.
Yeah, shit. I'm taking the Washington Monument back.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah, the whole time.
Number one. Here we go.
Yeah.
Touring group.
Yeah, the whole time we've been doing this podcast, I'm like, how early can I end this episode so I can go play with these guys?
Well, we've been collecting those masks for those ones.
Yeah,
we've been collecting masks.
But Adam, we're getting both you guys to World Tier 4 this weekend, man. Let's go.
Damn, I want to get to the chatterbox.
Yeah. Oh man. Anyway, yeah, stupid article. All right, and the last thing, so we're talking about rumors. We have a rumor to debunk, actually, debunked by Mr. Jason Schreier. So, an image, and thank you, Brian, for bringing this to my attention, is circulating about the like a prototype version, developer version of the PlayStation 5 controller. And the big thing about it was that it has an LCD screen in the middle of it where the touchpad would be. Turns out it's all bullshit. It's not real, you know.
It's a fake shot.
But remember, this has been rumored for a while now that that's what the controller will look like. So I think that person who made that image is going off of that, you know. I wouldn't be surprised. My thing is like, don't do that because that battery life is going to last like 5 fucking minutes, you know.
I think that the next controller, they're going to reduce the size of the touchpad or remove it altogether.
They should remove it. That thing's useless. Yeah. It's useless. Get rid of that shit. You really get rid of that. Get rid of the light bar too. Get rid of that nonsense.
I don't know if they'll be removing the light bar
because of the VR stuff, right?
Because of the VR stuff.
Yeah, let us at least turn it off then.
Give the option to turn it off.
Yeah, they don't need to have it on.
Like what if you had a little button on and just turn the damn thing off?
Yeah, turn that shit off. Yeah, exactly. Especially for us who don't plan on playing any VR, you know.
I do like. I mean, it's like, you know, aesthetic part of it. I do like it a little bit because, you know, some games like to play with the colors of it, and you're like, hey, look, you know, when Laura is holding the torch, it glows fire colors. You know, it's just fun things like that, but you know, not really that important.
Yeah, but see, with that, it's like I could appreciate the colors changing, but at the same time, am I gonna be like, hey, look at that while I'm playing? You know, hold this shit up to my face. You know.
The one thing is that, you know, it has those little funky color change things, but you kind of don't see it, especially with the way that panel is kind of flipped downward. And obviously, you kind of don't want a light kind of flashing in your face at the same time. You know, even if they did put like an LCD panel on there, I kind of don't like that idea where like you have that thing on there and it's always, you know, blaring in your face while you're playing.
By the way, my reaction to this news reminds me of Deep Space Nine. For you guys to watch it, it's fake. So yeah, there's nothing more. Somebody just had to debunk that. But it was kind of it made interesting news for like a little bit of a day. You know, Mighty Nerd says, I think Sony will go back to the basics with the PlayStation 5 controller. No gimmicks. I hope you're right. I hope you're right. We don't need any of that bullshit.
I mean, it's still probably going to have the share button gimmick.
But that's not really a gimmick anymore. That's a functionality.
Yeah, that's
a functionality.
That's essential.
A lot of people
use found a use for the select button.
Yeah. Well, it's funny about that because the touchpad, that is the select button.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It was just vestigial.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, it's a giant select button. That's what it became.
I'm going to bring up the map.
Yeah, to bring up the map, but you could do that with a button too, you know, like on Xbox.
It's a good map button. I like the big flappy paddle button, as I call it.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, the whole touch thing was stupid anyway. Yeah, that's gonna do it for us. Oh, I almost forgot. I want to give a shout out to Torrance Davis. I haven't seen Torrance since 2014 at PAX East, which is happening this weekend, and I actually got to hang out with him on Tuesday. You know, got together with him and Jeffrey. We went to Barcade for a couple hours. It was good to see Torrance, man. You know, and Torrance, unlike me and Jeffrey, he actually played some arcade games. He went to all the old games that were there and got the high scores in all of them, Galaga and Centipede and shit, which is pretty awesome. It's funny because I've been going to this Barcade for like almost 3 years now. Never played an arcade game there. I just go there to drink.
Hey, Adam, you know which one they're going. They know where they're going, right? It's the one where Kim's video used to be.
Oh shit, Kim's.
Well, Kim's was on the second.
Is it still
Kim's
two floors? Yeah, because there was a music store.
Yeah, the music store part of it, where it used to be that CD music store. Yeah. That's where the barcade is. Kim's is is not even there. They closed that years ago.
Yeah, Kim's is.
But yeah, it's where Kim's video used to be. They, you know, they even moved. They got rid of Trash.
Trash Boardville, the clothing store there.
Yeah, Trash Boardville. That moved all the way to a little more toward the west side now. It's not even on St. Mark's. St. Mark's is now Disneyland now. It's got like a, you know, it's got all these chains and shit there.
So what's in we're Coney Island High? What's there?
I don't know what's there anymore.
Because I know they opened a supermarket, like a Whole Foods store or something, where the halfway house used to be.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, it used to be a halfway house, and now it's like one of these Whole Foods stores.
Yeah, there's some New York stuff for you guys, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, Torrance, man, shout out to him. And for me, it was kind of cool because like I was hanging out with Torrance. He's the guy that introduced me into the gaming industry. Then you had Jeffrey, who helped me become a professional writer. So pretty cool to have those guys there. You know, we were having a good time, talking a lot of stories that I cannot share on the air. Oh man!
But you bring it up anyway.
I can say that at least. But man. Like, all I'm going to say is the shit you heard Torrance talk about on the Warzone was crazier than that.
Is he finished? Was it?
Warzone's going to have 400. Yeah, 400 this year should reach. But, you know, Torrance is not like us, man. He does Warzone when he does Warzone. You know? He'll skip a week if he wants to. Maybe 2, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, for us, like, we're going to reach episode 400. I can tell you right now. Because next year, we're going to reach 300. That's 2020, right? 2022, the first week of September, that Thursday, that's when we're going to reach 400. Torrance can't do that because he doesn't know when his shows show up. It's just on a Friday, maybe. You know, but Torrance has other things going on right now. You know, he's big into fishing. His job right now is actually taking him different places, which he's happy about. He doesn't have to, you know, sit in a desk anymore. You know, he's actually mobile, but he's still doing computer shit. You know, so pretty good stuff, man.
He was rolling up to New York a few times. I know.
Yeah, he was in Syracuse a couple weeks ago, but this time he was I think he was in Long Island. So he knew Queens was by long. I'm like, man, I'm not seeing you in Queens, man. Let's go to the city, you know. And then he went to Brooklyn. You know, he was visiting around because he's never really checked out New York like that. You know, like he's been to New York many times, but only to Manhattan for like a gaming event or something. You know.
Yeah, he's kind of taking the slow tour now. He's not like in out, you know, like he usually is. You know?
Yeah, exactly. So he enjoyed that. He really likes the city. He's always liked New York, but now he appreciates it even more because he actually got to live in it for a couple of days, which makes sense. He's from Boston, you know. When I went to Boston, I'm like, hey, this city's pretty cool, you know. East Coast, man, East Coast.
The only thing with Boston is that it actually does shut down.
It does. 10:00, right? It's over. You know?
Well, most cities kind of shut down.
Yeah, we're the only one that don't. New York is the only one that shit just keeps going.
Alternatively, maybe LA, I would say.
LA kind of stays up pretty late. You know, like even though we didn't travel late, Manny, I didn't see those trains say we close at whatever time. I think they keep going all night too. You know, but don't quote me on that. I don't live in LA like that. So yeah, man, Rich, as always, man, I want to thank you. It's cool that we got you on because you've been wanting to come on for the last couple of weeks, but you know, shit always happens. So I'm glad you finally made it.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me on. Always a fun time.
Yeah, man, you already know. And please plug your stuff, man. Where can people find you? Where can people find the site?
All right, so if you want to hit me up on Twitter handle is Rich Bailey Jr. So you reach me there. The Coalition, obviously, thecoalition.com. And we are going to be recording a co-op. I believe it's going to be this weekend. However, it may be tomorrow. I'm not sure yet because it depends on when Gary is available. Also, real quick, I have to give a shout out to Gary because he actually just published 2 books this week.
Books?
Oh, wow.
Yes, and they are available on Amazon. You can pick them up. You can order them, whether it's through Kindle
What's the name of the books?
Well, I'm actually not looking at the post right now.
I'll bring it up. Go ahead. I got it.
Okay, yeah. So one of them, I believe, is Starfade, and the other one is the Descendant of the
Elders.
That's it. Yes.
Yeah.
So for those who don't know, Gary is a huge Mass Effect fan. These are like science fiction novels he's written. So definitely would encourage you to check it out. You know, I know he probably don't want me plugging his stuff, but he'll appreciate it later. But yeah, definitely check those out if you are interested.
Yeah, one cool thing about the Descendant of the Elders, the main character, you could kind of say it's a little bit biographical with Gary because just like Gary, he suffers from sickle cell sickness. So the character like Gary has to deal with some of this stuff. So that's pretty cool. And it's available. I thought it was all digital. Apparently, the book is available physical too. At least Descendant was because Tatiana got it. So I definitely want to buy the book myself, give support to Gary. You know, so that's dope, man.
Absolutely.
All right, man. So, yep, that's going to do it for us. So, Thank you for watching and listening. Subscribe to Throwdown on SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube. Follow us on Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook at Throwdown Show. Links are located in the description below. Once again, our show is Tony Polanco. Tonight's joined by Emilio Lopez.
See you later, guys.
Chris Seeley.
Hey, take care, everyone.
Brett Murdoch.
Peace out.
Adam Vale.
Have a fun weekend.
Brian Manjoma.
Shout out to all the people that are suffering from soy mouth.
Shit. Brian's going to get us in trouble, man. And Richard Bailey Jr.
See you guys later.
All right, guys. Peace out.
Later.
Deuces.